All right, everybody. Hey, Lady Ms. VJ, how are you?
Hey,
Happy Wednesday.
happy
It's Wednesday, right?
Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
Woden's
Yes.
Day. It is Woden's Day. I am so excited. I am so excited for this. Like, ever since I started following you like a year ago, I was all like, I want to do a live with them. And
Aw,
here we are.
we
And
made
here
it
we
out.
are.
Look at us. Who
Here we are.
knew? Who knew?
Who would have thunk it? So, hey, everybody, I am so glad you're here. I am Karen Calamita of Crows, Cats, and Tarot, and I have with me my lovely, beautiful friend, the Lady Ms. Vagina Jenkins of Queer Astrology. And today we are going to dive in and talk about birth cards. What are they? How do you calculate yours? Math is not my friend, and if I can figure it out, so can you. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the connection to astrology. We're going to talk about our birth cards. We're going to talk about what we love about them. We're going to talk about what we hate about them and how you can use what you know about your birth card to support you on your journey because
That's the
life
big
be
stuff.
crazy right now and we need all the help we can get.
Yeah, that's the big stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to make it your whole personality, but also, what if you could have tools in your tool chest to survive late stage
And,
capitalism? Yeah.
and as somebody with all of the ADHD, I can use all of the strategies. Give me all the strategies. All the strategies. So before we dive in, I want to just chat a little bit about how this all came about. So most of you know about Octavio, my lovely octopus friend with a little bit of an anger management issue. His Mars is in Aries, as is mine. So he gets grouchy really quickly. And when I started doing the videos about him, I approached Lady Ms. VJ and said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing a collab with Octavio?" And they were like, "Super cool, but no." And I appreciated that honesty. And they said, "However, I do want to collaborate with you." And so they came up with the idea of birth cards. So here we are.
I came up with the idea.
You came up with the idea.
Oh my
Yep.
god, I'm so smart.
It was all you.
Yeah,
You were all like, we should talk about birth cards because I don't know a lot about them and you do. And I said,
right.
okay.
Yeah. And also, I just really believe in your vision, and I want to support it and be in reciprocal support with you. Any opportunity that I get.
Heck yeah.
Um. Oh, could I? Yes. I. I did not look at the agenda. I'm going to be honest with you, Ken.
That is okay.
Is this the moment
It's
that I can say stuff about myself, like a little intro type meow meow meow, or
um,
just it's happen later?
most of you know I used to teach and I kind of used to wing teaching when I first started. And since I'm first starting doing lives, no, I didn't wing it when I first started. When I first started, I would do like crazy ass intensive lesson plans. And then towards the end, I was all like, oh, I know this. Uh, early teacher Karen came out today, and I was all like, I have to create all of the things. I have to create an agenda. I have to do this like it's a lesson plan. So, yeah,
But but rather too much information than too little information.
it,
Yeah.
yeah. And it also helps my brain.
Right. Right. Sometimes getting things out of your brain where it's like causing anxiety is,
Yes.
yeah, much
Yeah.
preferred.
So,
I feel it.
Ms. Lady VJ, how much do you know about birth cards?
Okay, so it's a new concept for me. I feel like I found out about them maybe a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then in terms of calculating them, I didn't know until you showed me. I just straight up Googled, like, hey, this is my meow meow. What is my birth
Mm-hmm.
card? Um, and I only knew about the one, the Empress. And then, yeah, you were telling me about the corresponding cards and
Corresponding cards.
all
Yeah.
of that.
So, yeah. So birth cards are kind of like your sun sign. So it's like the sun sign version for tarot. And
Mhm.
there like in astrology, where there are only so many sun signs, there are only so many birth cards and corresponding cards. And so there are a bazillion people out there who have the same birth card as I do. There's a bazillion people out there who have the same birth cards as you.
Hmm.
They, like our sun sign, are just guides. They're just this tiny little bit of an aspect of ourself, because it is just about the month, the day, and the year. We don't talk about like the time you were born or where you were born or where other things are in the stars. It's literally just your birthday.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to pull up. Go ahead, keep talking.
So wait, what is if the birth card is the sun sign, then what is the like corresponding card that?
So I do both of them as my birth cards. Some people do it as like a soul card or as an additional card. For me, both of them are my birth cards, but I just connect to one of them more than the other. So one thing I love about tarot is that there are certain things that are like, okay, here's what you have to do, but there's a lot of fluidity in it. And I think you know me well enough that I also like to break the rules a little bit when it comes to these sorts of things. So I threw up our birthdays. You can all see how I'm old. I'm old.
Hi, old. I am also old.
But you're still younger than me.
Young in spirit. Yeah,
Yes, young in
yes.
spirit. So calculating our birth cards is a lot of it is simple math. You take your month, your day, and your year, and you break it down into 2-digit increments, and then you add them all up. So for me, my birthday is 6/12/1975, and I have it broken down to 06 plus 12 plus 19 plus 75 equals 112. And then you break it down again. Oh my gosh. So I have 1 plus 1 plus 2 equals 4, as well as breaking it down with the first 2 digits, 11 and 2. No, 11 and 3. No, it's 11 and 2. I can't see. I am old, and I'm going to be doing this for the whole life, just to give you a heads up. I hope my nose is clean. And then you add those up for a 2-digit number. So my 2 cards are the Emperor and Death.
And that's because they have. Oh, I see. Yeah, they each have like death has a number 4 on it. I got it.
Yep, because when you break down, yes, because with Death, when you break it down, it is 11 plus 2 is 13. And 13 is the Death card. But if you break up the 1 and the 3 and add them together, it's 4.
Got it.
Got it?
That makes sense. So then it's low key like one is the base or foundation of the other.
Correct. So my Emperor card is my base. And then I also have the Death card, which is its corresponding card as well. I don't like the Emperor, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. I find the Emperor challenging.
But then
very challenging.
Also, people that have not everybody that has 4 will have Death as their corresponding card, right? Because some people will be 2 plus 2. Do you think that's a thing?
Well, let's pop that up. Boop, boop, boop. So, all right, I'm going to do the old lady glasses thing. So, everybody who has the Emperor will have Death. Okay. There are a few people, depending on how the math is, because of the ones, will have 3 cards and how it breaks up. But the vast majority of people will only ever have 2 cards. So Death and the Emperor always correspond together. Okay. The Hangman and the Empress always correspond together.
Got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. Hmm.
All right, let's calculate yours. I mean, I already
Oh yeah.
calculated it, but let's calculate it again.
Yes. So 03 plus 03 plus 19 plus 77. Um, that is 102.
Mhm.
And then it gets broken down into three.
Correct,
But 102 is the same as 10 plus 2, which is 12.
which is 12.
So the Hanged Man.
Yes.
And then the card associated with that, or vice versa.
Hmm.
Empress is the main card, and it's associated with the Hanged
With the
Man.
Hanged Man.
Makes
And
sense.
for those of you who are watching, I did something a little sneaky. I put on this infographic the cards that we prefer and that we connect to more as the top cards.
Mm.
I really love the Death card. The Emperor, we'll talk about that. I mean, he is an Aries, so that explains a lot. And then I know how much you love the Empress.
Yes, yes, very
You
much
so
so.
love the Empress. And y'all, I'm gonna have to show you Ms. Lady VJ's Empress energy because it is so fierce. I said to them yesterday that because we were trying to figure out what to wear, and I was all
Oh
like,
yeah.
I wear t-shirts and comfy pants, and their ability to fully embrace the Empress energy is really like enviable, but not like enviable in a good way. Not like
Yes,
I
yes, yes,
want it, but
yes.
like enviable in the wow, I really celebrate that for you.
Admirable. Yeah.
Admirable. That's a better word.
Yeah, I was doing a couple of years ago. I did a series of makeup looks devoted to all of the cards of the major arcana in the tarot, but specifically what's her Pamela Coleman Smith as the
Hmm.
artist because I wanted to understand and be in conversation with her like as a fellow Black artist.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so this was the Empress look, and I loved it. Um, this is how I feel. This is how I want to live. This is who I want to be. And then I also did one for the Hanged Man, which I really did not enjoy that much. But it's funny because this is the card that is stuck around for the longest
Hmm.
or the image that stuck around. I use it on a lot of my marketing materials as an artist now. So, surprise, patience.
Patience. And also, we're going to dive deeper into it in a couple minutes, but like the Hangman's all about perspective and perspective change and perspective shift and sitting in difficulty in order to have that perspective change.
Yep. And so it's interesting that that happened with that particular art piece, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Those are, I love like those two photos are some of my favorite photos of you.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. I love how we decided what to wear, and then neither of us wore the things that we said that we were going to
No,
wear.
I'm totally wearing, but I'm not wearing my keffiyeh because it's 800 degrees in my apartment.
Oh, true. Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah, because
yes.
I had to turn off the air conditioner and keep the window closed. So it's like, I don't know, like 85 in here.
Oh, Jesus. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
So, yeah. So I wanted to start before we continue, I wanted to be like, y'all, do you have any questions? Throw them in the comments and we'll take a peek at them as best as we can.
Do you have any questions, concerns, things you're loving, things you're confused by, things that you hate,
Yeah.
things you want to gossip about?
I'm a Gemini. We do like
That's
God.
why
I'm
I'm
not like,
fucking
I don't
with it.
want to be part of the drama. I just want to know about the drama.
Right, right. That's
I
just
just
being an informed citizen.
I just because then it helps me know what's going on and how to prepare. See, it's the information collecting.
Oh yeah, true.
I do
That
like to collect
is
information.
that is very
Um,
Gemini.
yeah. What was it in Did you ever watch Game of Thrones?
No, but I have kind of on TikTok.
Okay, so I guess the eunuch was the information gatherer. Like
I don't
everybody
know.
would tell him the secrets. I don't know. I only watched it for the first season. It was a little too rapey for me.
Oh,
Um,
I
But
remember that actually.
at my old teaching job, one of my former colleagues was like, "People tell you everything." I'm like, "They do."
Gathering information slowly but
I
surely.
do. It's totally like the only air sign that I have. But yeah, give me
Mm.
all the information. Give me all the information. All right, my phone keeps. I have the agenda up. I'm not ignoring y'all. I'm not texting my mom. I wonder if my parents are watching. They said they would.
Hi, Mom.
Jim and Carol.
Hey, Jim. Hey, Carol. Hey, Carol. Hey, Jim.
So I wanted to start with your cards first. I
Okay.
thought as um, it would start with some really great conversation. So how I had it envisioned is we would talk about the numerology, we would talk about the tarot aspect, we would talk about then bring in the astrology piece to it.
Okay.
So we will start with the Empress. And I did the Pamela Coleman Smith as well as the deck that
Ooh.
I use
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for doing that.
because there's so much to what Pamela Coleman Smith does, yet she was still so, I mean, she was young. She was only like 23, 24 when she did this deck. And when she didn't get any credit, she didn't get enough money. She died in obscurity. Um, but it's interesting to look at it and see how this young Black woman is embodying in so many ways white patriarchal culture in her depiction in of the cards. So I wanted to juxtapose it with a deck that I use all the time and really love, that I find more approachable. So, yeah.
What is this deck again?
This deck is called the Light Seers deck. It is
Mm.
by a woman named Chris Ann. I've had this deck for a couple years, a couple years. It was recommended by another tarot person that I know, and I find this deck a lot
Mm.
more approachable because of the imagery. So you and I have talked about this a lot about how I read tarot from an intuitive perspective, from what the card is saying, as well as from a Jungian perspective. And I really struggle with the very patriarchal nature of the Rider Waite Smith deck. I have to tell you, I've actually never used it to read.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have never used it
That's
to read.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So you, my beautiful friend, are the Empress.
Right.
Yes.
Um,
And in numerology, the Empress is all about, the number 3 is all about creation. There's a divine aspect to it too, right? Because we have the Trinity. Um, there's a lot of Jesus-iness going on, a lot of Christianity mixed with other mythologies in this deck, in the original deck.
um, I'm trying to think about anything that I know about the numerology. I
Mm.
definitely know the creativity because 1 and 1.
Oh, it makes me think of the Schoolhouse Rock song.
Right. Yeah. I can't think
Yeah.
about it, but what the exact phrase is. But yeah, 1 and 1 somehow end up with 3 because they
Yeah,
made the
it makes the Trinity.
baby.
Yeah,
Yeah, or something.
yeah.
So yes to that part in terms of like general creativity. I've never resonated at all with this actual fertility, pregnancy parts of the thing. And I also like that it's interesting to me that like in most imagery she's pregnant but not already with child.
Right.
So it's not at all specifically about like birthing a human, but it's
Correct.
birthing something interesting from like I don't know, fire seems involved even though it's like associated with what, Taurus, Venus?
Venus, Taurus. Um,
It's because of the stars, I bet. At
yeah.
least in the Rider Waite. What's going on in the other one?
So in the
In
other
her
one,
hair.
it's a woman, and
Uh-huh.
her shoulders are like the ocean, and then her abdomen is the world.
Yeah. And
And
then Are those feathers or sticks in her hair? What is it?
I think they're feathers. I'm
Hmm.
always just intrigued by like the artwork of her having like the world, like being pregnant with the world. It's almost like she's the universe pregnant with ideas, with creativity, with this desire to create something new. So I always forget about what's in her hair.
I wondered, because of the astrology of it all, what they were trying to say elementally.
Mm.
Um, yeah, air,
Well,
water.
so my suspicion is that because she's creating something, there's the sticks are earth, and then the feathers are air,
Hmm.
and then her belly is water.
Hmm.
And I'm going to make a conjecture that the red at the bottom, where her name, where it says the Empress, is fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see it.
Yep. And I think that's one thing that I really love about tarot is how everybody looks at the card is different. And that how you read the Empress in that was done by Pamela Coleman Smith and how I look at it are very different. And same with the Chris Ann version.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get from the Pamela Coleman Smith like the fire because of the stars.
Mm-hmm. And the red behind her that she's sitting on,
Hmm.
and the Venus. But yeah,
Yeah, and then the earth, I guess, because of the little pomegranate
mm-hmm.
situation. But yeah,
Because
not the
yeah,
other
and also
elements
new
so
life, like
much.
spring's coming because of Persephone and poor Persephone. I mean,
Persephone. Yeah.
yeah, I could go on a tangent about Persephone um, in Greek mythology.
But yes, tell us more about the meaning of the tarot parts of it.
So the tarot aspect of it, so like the number 3, the Empress is all about creation and birthing something new into the world and creative ideas, but she's also very much about sensuality and fully embracing like her body
Mm,
and being all like, I am a woman. And this is where the challenge is, right? With the deck, is that it was created during a time of where it was you were either a guy or a girl. There was no, it was very heteronormative.
mhm.
So that's one of the challenges with tarot. Like when we're talking about the feminine and the masculine, but it's not about gender or gender identity or sexuality. It's about those aspects within ourselves.
Mhm.
So the Empress is saying, yeah, we have a feminine side and a masculine side. And the Empress is like, embrace your feminine, embrace the feminine side. And it's not even just for like cisgender women, it's for everybody.
I feel that I wish that like people would be more exact with their language. Like, what do we mean specifically about feminine? And then could we use that language? Like,
Mm-hmm.
when I think about that, I think about stuff that's like more covert rather than overt.
Mm-hmm.
The nighttime half of things, the moon part of things.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go. I
No, I love
digress.
no. We could probably talk about this stuff and like totally go off tangent from like what we have planned and
No
just
doubt. No
like
doubt.
we'll have to do one of those at another time and just be like, so what do you think about? And then we'll just talk about it on live for 2 hours.
But yes, to I feel that in terms of like yes to embracing that kind of energy, this kind of
Mhm.
covert, yeah. Um. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you though. What were
No,
you
you did not.
going
You're
to
good.
say?
You are good.
Um.
What
What
do
are
you
you
think
talking
about
about?
the astrology side of it? So like bringing in that astrology, like with what I know about Taurus, and Taurus is Earth, right?
Will you cite that source? Do you have it handy anywhere? I can also look it up on the document. I want to make sure that we name who.
Yes, it is from, oh my gosh, it starts with an L. I will put it in the comments afterwards.
Is it Llewellyn?
No,
No, it
no,
wasn't. Okay.
no.
Um, Let me see if I can find it on the document.
Yeah. And then a lot of, and this is, you and I talked about this before, a lot of tarot books and tarot resources will say the Empress is about Venus,
Mhm.
but the Empress is also connected to Taurus because Taurus is earth and creation and bringing new things into life. And then Venus is all about the, hey, how's it going? And embracing her sensuality.
Yes. Okay, I just put that link that you
Awesome.
gave me, the Labyrinthios. That was
Labyrinthios.
the
And
L
then
word.
yeah.
But yeah, so I didn't know anything about the astrological associations of the cards. I just always,
Mhm.
like I said, I just be Googling. I don't know what the hell is going on. And then, yes, to this resource, because this is the resource I will probably go to directly rather than Google's now Gemini AIing everything.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah.
so I'm just going off of what this resource is telling me in terms of like the Taurus feel of it. It does feel true in my body when I think
Mhm.
about like what you just said, like what Taurus is all about. So yes, Taurus is ruled by the planet Venus, and that's how we get that association. Yes to that. But so is Libra associated with Venus. And so how is Taurus doing Venus differently? So if
Mm.
Venus is the job of how we attract things to us, and we don't necessarily need to pursue things, but we can literally draw things to us like a magnet. Then Taurus is very much the experience of actual tangible things. And so I feel like this is very much when I think about the Empress, and this is how I started loving the Empress, is because it
Mhm.
felt like material abundance. And so that's what I think of when I'm thinking about the Empress energy. And yes, to embracing versions of ourselves that are more about being receptive rather than like pursuing, chasing, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's the vibe that definitely resonate with before I knew
Mhm.
about the astrology of it. And now that I understand it's associated with Taurus, specifically Venus, yes, very much that.
Yeah. Very, very, very much. And I think also too, one thing I like, it's the whole what you said about we're not pursuing.
Hmm.
It's very much like this is what we are doing, and those who want to be with us in various senses will come to us.
Yeah. Bringing the things and resources that we need,
Yeah.
the tangible feelings of support
Yeah.
and items of support. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now
Uh,
we're going to juxtapose it with
that
your hanged man or the
bullshit.
hanged one.
Yeah. Yeah. So first and foremost, we think about the imagery. Is that
Mhm.
okay? Just so yeah, I never really resonated with this card, generally speaking. When I found out it was the corresponding card to the Empress, I was like, I guess, whatever. And it made me dive deeper into the meaning and consult you about the meaning. And I definitely want you
Mhm.
to speak on that because I just always saw it as, oh, it's a change in perspective. But why does this imagery have to be so violently to talk about this change in perspective?
So,
Like,
oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I was gonna say the thing that you were gonna say, but it's like, yeah, he's not being lynched, but I'm black and I just can't not see that. I can't, like, I know it's by his ankle, it's all good or whatever. He's jauntily got his legs crossed, it's in his hands and whatever, but I can't not see the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But he also has a halo,
Hmm.
and he's got the halo. So it is very much, he is willingly there. He is out embracing the discomfort. And it's not even like he is uncomfortable because he's got his leg crossed. He is in this position with way too much blood flowing to his head, that if he's there too long, it'll be a bad scene for him. But he's there because by being there, there is going to be not just a perspective change, but a form of enlightenment and grace. And he, in this position, is all like, universe, I trust you. I trust. And I think like when you and I talk about stuff offline, and like your trust of that everything's going to work out and that everything's going to be okay. I'm like, oh my God, that's the hanged one. That's the hanged man. That it is very much, I am here and I trust that I am being taken care of.
Those parts resonate with me so hard, but I didn't know anything about those meanings before talking with you. And I don't know why that would be. Why would that be?
Maybe because astrology is more your jam.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought about that after I said it out loud. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like you have this amazing ability to be like, this is what I am doing. This is what I'm putting into the universe.
Yeah.
And I trust that everything is going to work out as it should. Mm-hmm. And it makes me think of my yoga instructor who is from the tantric, and the tantric yoga is very much like, I'm putting in the work, but I am not going to try to control the outcome.
Oh yeah.
And that's the hanged man to me.
Yeah.
It's like he's putting in the work. He's all like, I am here. I'm putting in the work. I am in this discomfort, thinking about things, changing my perspective, putting stuff out into the universe. And you know what? However it works out is how it's going to work out. And I am not going to try to control the outcome.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. I've definitely been living that the last couple of years. And also every time that I got it in my tarot pulls, I used to do like a daily tarot pull kind of thing. I've fallen off, but I used to get this one quite a bit. And I always would be like, are you serious, Patience? Hey,
Stacey. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, I used to, I had a lot of problems with the imagery of the hanged man or the hanged one for a while. And then I did some reading and I was all like, oh, I get it now.
Is this the same deck?
Yeah, with the for the Pamela Coleman Smith deck. Yeah.
No, I mean, sorry. I'm looking at the other image.
But the other one from the Chris Ann deck, I love this one.
This is okay.
Yeah, like this one, they're an aerialist and they're in the silks and they're just like, okay, I am like relinquishing. I am letting go of control and I am trusting that I'm not going to fall and crack my skull open.
And the water, that even if they did fall, they would be held by the water so easily right there. Yeah.
And I think there's like that whole trusting and like holding on really tight. My mom has this really great analogy that, so my parents are Catholic and they're very open-minded and very accepting of the journey that I am on. And my mom has this amazing analogy, and she'll say, she's like, you're letting go to God, the universe, creation, source, but you're letting go of those balloons, but you're still holding onto one of the balloon strings. And the hanged man, the hanged one, has let go of all of the balloon strings. Yeah. And with a lot of Aries placements, letting go of that control is really hard for me.
Oh, friends. Oh, I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah, when you speak my language, I very much understand what you're talking about. So you can say the same thing as, oh, that's such a hanged man moment. And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say to me? No.
Because and I this like I struggle with this because of my very complicated relationship to Christianity, but it is that whole let go and let God thing, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you're still not putting in the work. And that's how it is with the Hanged Man. He's still doing the work, but he is trusting that everything's going to work out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is such a Pisces vibe.
Oh my gosh,
B2
yes. Yeah.
Pisces being ruled by traditionally by Jupiter and modern ruler Neptune. Jupiter is this idea of whatever you believe in your mind
Mhm.
becomes your reality, and the way your worldview shapes your reality. Like, not on no like bullshit ass law of attraction type shit, but
Right.
like on some the reality of perception
Mhm.
type shit. Like, it's not that the world is rosy, it's that you have this positive outlook and are able to
Right.
navigate the bullshit more easily, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so I feel like that's the Jupiterian part of Pisces, and then the Neptunian part of the Pisces picture is very much like the idea of spirituality and how will our connection to spirit, ancestors, whatever we call it, how will that also be a tool that gets us through? So again,
Mhm.
you've got your worldview, your spirituality coming through. This is very much like you said, let go, let God type energy.
Yeah.
And as you, well, I mean, both as above and so below, but there's another phrase for that that's like, as you will it, so it is, or something like that. I can't remember, but yeah. That was my one attempt at being profound, and I just
You're
botched
I
it.
know. You're always profound. Like every time I watch your videos, I'm always like,
Yeah, I'm
oh.
just gonna go. It's fine. It's just.
So I'm just gonna sit here and talk to myself for the next 20 something
You're
minutes.
fine. It's great. It's
I mean,
fine.
I am a
Fine.
Gemini, so I do talk to myself a lot. Like I'll be at the grocery store and I'll be like, oh, I need to do something. And then people look at me and I'll start singing like talking to myself.
Because
People are
you're damn good
watching.
company, and they don't know. They don't know. They don't know.
And I'm like, hey, this is just,
Um.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna just immediately turn to now. Let's look at your cards because I'm nosy and
Oh, my
also.
cards. So I have the Emperor. The Emperor's, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me add the Emperor to the stage. So we have the Emperor. So in
Ooh.
numerology, the number 4 has to do with being stable, being patient, being practical, but also the downside, dogmatic. I can be dogmatic and dull. Oh my God, I can be so dull.
What does
Um,
that mean? What do you mean by that?
by
Dull.
dogmatic, I
No,
like
no,
by
dull.
dull.
Yeah.
Um, my inner child is like 90 years old, and I have a hard time having fun.
Mm.
Like going out to play just to play. And I think it has to do with all of my because of the stellium that I have in my ninth house.
Yeah.
I am always thinking about religion, philosophy, worldviews. Um, I don't know, I don't follow culture the way I used to. Like in my 20s, like 20-year-old me would be all like, I'm sorry, what happened to you? Like I subscribe to Entertainment Weekly all the time.
Mm.
Um, Stacy says she's the same way. Um, like and I think part of it had to do with
Mm.
going to China and losing those 2 years of like cultural knowledge. So when I came back, like I don't go to the movies. I don't know who's popular music wise. But if you're like, hey Karen, can you explain to me what is happening in, I don't know, some rando country? I'd be like, oh yeah, so because the US did this in this certain year because they you'd be like, how do you know this? Those are the things I think about.
Okay.
I'm
I mean,
super,
I wouldn't describe that as dull, but I get what flavor you're trying to describe. But yeah.
yeah. And I can be dogmatic. Like when it comes to
Mm.
certain rules, I'm like, you have to follow the rules. Especially when it comes to like parking and driving. I'm like,
How
yeah.
kind of related. How would you describe? I know this is probably a really big question, but how would you describe what's happening numerologically
Numerologically.
in the major arcana from like 1 to 2? I guess, is this the same question as the Fool's Journey?
So the fool's journey is about, it's sort of about the how the like starting with the fool going through, and each card in the major arcana in the fool's journey is an aspect and a journey that you are going to that builds from the previous.
That's what I was wondering, if they
Yeah,
actually do in fact build on each other. So
they
it's
do.
like
Yes, they do build
through
on each other.
creativity, then you learn.
And then like you're the leader. But the thing with the emperor that I do like and that I'm working harder at embodying, so to speak, is the emperor's 4. He's not 1. The magician is 1. Then we have the high priestess, then the empress, then the emperor. So like all of these knowledge holders, all of these creators came before the emperor. And the emperor, one thing I love about him is that he knows that he is not where he is. He knows he's there because he had other people to help him get there.
Oh, okay, I feel you. Yeah, and then that
Yeah.
makes the numbers also make sense because they build
With
on each other.
They
Yeah.
build on each other. Yeah. And so he's very much like, I am only here because of the people who came before me.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to embrace that more. And I am here because of the help I have had from other people. And so he's just like, okay, here I am. So, and then so because of that, and because of the foundation that he's received from other people, it makes it easier for him to know what he wants. It makes it easier for him to embrace those leadership qualities because he's taking it not from a power hungry sort of way, but
Mhm.
from a community based sort of way.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I love that in this deck, in the Chris Ann deck on the right, it's a black dude.
Yeah, I liked that
Yeah.
immediately. And then
And
he's sitting in Mars, but for more than a second, I thought he was sitting in a big juicy peach.
I thought he was sitting in a beanbag for a long time. I was like, oh, he's
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
in a beanbag. No, he's not. No, he's sitting in Mars. Yeah.
And what's that he's holding? It looks like a statue.
It's the king chess piece.
Ah,
Yeah.
ah, yeah.
Yeah. And then we also have the Aries imagery with the ram's head
Hmm.
skeleton skull on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
But yeah, like he very much knows what he wants. Like but also the downside is like he can be a bit of a bossy McBosserton.
Yeah.
The inflexibility, like it's like, no, this is how it should be done. This is how we're
Oh,
gonna do
yeah.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking about all the things that you're saying and applying them to the Ariesness of it all, and I'm like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
If you I know quite a few Aries and I love them very much, but oh my gosh.
Perhaps this is where Octavia wants to speak to,
Octavio says it's either my way or the highway.
or you get punched. They're gonna punch.
Yeah. So, and I feel like and I think because I have so many Mars placements
Yeah.
that I like when I was typing this all up, I was like, yeah. Mm. I was hoping you could
Yeah. Or
expound a little bit more.
absolutely, you have properly placed Mars placements in Aries, rather than improperly placed. I don't even know what I mean by that,
I
but
know what
yeah,
you mean by that. Less challenging
debilitating.
placements.
Right, right. But yeah, rather than, debilitated Mars in Libra, or what I believe Mars is in its fall also in Aquarius. I
Ooh.
can't recall, but yeah, those are some signs where Mars is uncomfortable a bit and has to find some unique ways to figure out motivation,
Mhm.
passion, anger, conflict. Anyway, Aries, the Ariesness of it all. So yes, Aries is ruled by Mars. And you know who else is ruled by Mars? Scorpio. And I think that they are different experiences of Mars. And I'm
Mhm.
thinking about Mars as the experience of, ah, I am also driven by the experience of being excited.
Mhm.
And this is how my excitement gets expressed. And in Aries, Mars gets expressed um, in a cardinal kind of way. Me first. I need
Yeah.
to have my feelings heard first, and I have to say the thing first. And we're definitely going to talk about this first. That kind of energy. Whereas, like Mars over in Scorpio, in a fixed water sign that holds
Mhm.
its emotions so still, it's the experience of like strategic expressions of Mars, I'll say.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we're thinking about Aries, I also think about how Mars is, yes, all of the things about conflict and rage, but also like, that spark of fire. It's a
Yeah.
fire sign, cardinal fire, and it's the first fire, and fire
Mhm.
is like one of the first elements. So it's double first, it's double me first, my way, or the highway kind of energy.
But they
Um,
get shit done.
yeah,
They
very much
do. Like all the
so.
Aries I know, they're all like, "Let's go. All right, let's do that." And I'm all like,
My
"Whew."
my one thing is that like I do not experience with Aries placements, and I maybe, just need to look at myself more on this. That thing that you talked about where four builds on three,
Mhm.
where Aries placements are me first centered, but also what is my foundation? I
Mhm.
feel like that becomes secondary to the expression of fire when I think about most Aries energy. But sound off on the comments. Maybe I'm wrong. Call me if I'm wrong. I'll be wrong.
Or not, I wouldn't say wrong, it's just a different perspective.
True, true.
It's
Very
just a
much
different
that.
perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much that.
Yeah.
But yes, to that sort of kingly energy. Wait, isn't there another monarch in the major arcana? What's the difference between that one and the emperor? There's
For
there's
that was the emperor. So there's the
no, there's an emperor, but there's also like maybe
well,
the
there's the kings in the minors.
No, I think I'm thinking of something like the chariot or the strength card have.
Oh, so there's the chariot and the charioteers, which always makes me think of, I think it's Genesis at Easter time. Um, not the chariot. Oh my God.
That's not a royal that's pushing the
No,
chariot.
no,
Okay,
the chariot is not a royalty card.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
So that's the only monarch.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, no sorries. You are all good. But your comment about Scorpio is
Mhm.
the perfect segue to my other birth card, which is
Oh,
death.
right, 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 right.
I love the death card. I love the death card. And I also call it the Phoenix card, the metamorphosis card. It's different than the Tower, where the Tower is usually like an outside influence that's impacting you and it's sudden, where
Mm.
it's a sudden change. Where death, it's not a sudden change. It's been building. You've been seeing it happen. And either you embrace it or you don't, and it's still going to happen anyway. Um, and I, for me, think about it and I look back at all of the lifetimes that I've had. Like, I moved to DC when I was 23. I moved to China when I was 28. Like, I got married at 30 something and then divorced at 30 something again. And then, like, married at 40 something and divorced again at 40 something. And, like, all of these different places that I've lived. And I'm all like, I have had so many lifetimes. And that's the death card.
Mm.
The death is card is very much you have multiple lives in this meat sack that we embody. And in those multiple lives, when you have those metaphorical deaths, you are not starting from scratch. You are bringing all of the knowledge and wisdom from that previous life with you.
Yeah.
So you hopefully don't make the same mistakes again. Yeah. I love the death card. Like before I started reading tarot, I could, like, looking back on it, I can like pinpoint exact dates where I'm like, oh, that was a death moment in my life. Oh, that was a death moment in my life. Oh, that was definitely a death moment in my life.
Did you notice a transition when you were transitioning in your career recently? I'll put it. And did you notice a time where you were being encouraged to wait, hangman versus death coming up?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, very much so. Because there was very much I wanted to leave education before the school year that just ended started. And it was very much, hanged man, you got to wait. It is not time. It's not time. It's not time. And so, like, if I look back through my journals, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of hanged mans, but there is also a lot of death, because death is also metamorphosis and like, just hold on, you got to wait. But there was also a lot of conversations with my spirit guides and getting yelled at by my spirit guides where they were like, please shut the F up.
Yeah.
We will let you know.
And they did ultimately. So thank you, you know.
They did. And yes. And
So,
yeah. But I think for me, the death card is very much, oh, Stacy just says that metamorphosis is exhausting. It is.
You never lie.
Being that goo.
Why won't we just change just because we should, not because you have to?
Why do we have to go through challenges in order to change?
I hate that. That's so stupid.
Right. And challenges are different than trauma. I just want to make that very clear to everybody. Challenges are different than trauma. Even these past few months, because I've been in this weird liminal space, I have a hair in my mouth, of like having left teaching in February, but then not really having any clients for the past bunch of months. And like being in, and I've been pulling the death card, I don't want to say a lot, but frequently these past few months and very much, and also the hanged man of like, you're still in your cocoon. Like you're still in your cocoon. And I'm just like, oh, really? But like also like building that trust, and also remembering that every such time I've had a death moment, that everything has worked out. That everything has worked out, that I have been supported by the universe, by my family, by my community. And just being, and like learning to trust that. And that's really hard. It's really
hard. Yeah. We talk about this a lot. And yes, I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Stacy. It's a lot of therapy.
and actual trauma. So
and actual trauma, and being a trauma-informed actually, I'll always be a teacher. Being a trauma-informed educator. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. So yeah, I love the death card. I don't like the how it's. I don't like the imagery of it in the
right.
And I understand why. Right, like the cultural context, the historical context of that when those cards were created.
What about this one? Are you loving?
I don't necessarily love it, but I can connect to it more easily.
Yeah.
Because when you look at death, there's a star, there are trees. It is, and she calls it a death and rebirth card.
Oh yeah, that's right. I see. Oh, with a little infinity.
With the little infinity between the two. Because it's always continual. Like we are always in many ways dying. Yeah.
This also looks like a peach to me. Do you see it though? Do you see
I
the
do.
V?
I do. I totally see the peach. Now you guys are going to see like this is like I feel like I used to make fun of my mom when she was my age for doing this.
Hmm.
And now
Oh yeah,
I totally have to do that now. I'm like, what? Yes,
it's a beach.
it's a peach. But yeah, it's just yeah, I love the death card. Because I know that everything's going to be okay.
Mhm. Changing, death, and rebirth.
Yeah, and I find it
Yeah.
interesting that, you know, how you talked about Scorpio with the
The
emperor
yes,
with Mars.
with Mars. So going back to that, I said expressions of Mars that are strategic.
Mhm.
And what I meant by that is the way that like Scorpio is this fixed water sign, so still water, quite literally running deep, and the way
Mhm.
that like Scorpio also does not necessarily like to be perceived. It's in its scorpion phase, quite
Mhm.
literally an insect, going through the obstacles. And yeah, I don't know. It just feels like a lot about the association with uh, death in Scorpio is this, like you said, the kind of laying in wait kind of feeling,
Mhm.
so similar to the hangman, but these kinds of ways in which we, all the things that are at the bottom, that are in the depths, that are in the detritus, are inevitable, and we
Right.
search through them, we process them for the next part of our journey. Because the thing, I don't know if people recognize this, but Scorpio is also the sign associated with transformation and
Yes.
transition in a different
Mhm.
kind of way, because it goes through three different evolutions. It starts as the scorpion, the insect. In its next evolution, it goes to the eagle, where it's constantly perceiving
Mm.
and seeing about the
Mhm.
world. And then in its final evolution, it is the phoenix rising from the burned ashes. And so, yeah, once you get to that, once you have enough lives, I don't know how many you have to collect, but you're going to become a phoenix at some point.
At some point, I feel like there was when my second marriage ended, like I really felt the death card as the phoenix.
Mm,
Like I was all like, I am burning,
mhm.
but I have to. Like
I
I have to.
wonder, I feel like how there's the Saturn return around 28, around 36, 37, I believe, is the Chiron
Mhm.
return. I would be curious. Do you know what your Chiron placement is?
Yeah, Aries.
Oh,
So
you
my
got
my
Emperor energy.
midheaven, my Chiron, Saturn. I always screw up where my Saturn and Jupiter are, and Mars are all in Aries. Yeah,
Mm,
I have four hefty placements in Aries in the ninth house.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I have some good like Libra placements too. I need to befriend my Libra placements.
Mm,
I don't know them very well.
to find that balance, you mean?
Yeah, to find
I,
that balance.
I feel it.
Because what is the opposite of the ninth house? The third house? The second
Mm,
house?
three, yeah.
Right? I don't think I have any placements in my third. Or I do. I don't remember. I'll have to take a look.
I'm
So,
curious. So,
so
yeah.
we are actually running out of time. This
Oh,
went so
no.
fast. I
No.
know. I'm so sad. I mean, because I could sit and talk with you about this for like probably 2 more hours.
Well, yeah, there's so much to go into, but I've appreciated this little touchstone, and I hope that the folks that are watching at home have also appreciated, maybe learned something,
New,
maybe.
hopefully, as my Muslim students would say, inshallah, God willing.
Oh, cute.
Hmm. So, Ms. Lady VJ, I am so grateful that you are here. And I am so appreciative of your knowledge, your wisdom, your guidance. What is something that the people who are watching all of this could do to best support you?
Ooh, that is a good question. That is a good question. It requires a nubby paintbrush. Um, Okay, so ways in which I would most like to be supported sustainably. I would love it if people could subscribe to my Patreon or buy me a coffee blogs,
Hmm.
or become a member in my YouTube channel. All of those platforms have options where you can pay a $3 to $5 monthly fee to become like a member and support me sustainably.
Hmm.
Or if you just had funds for a one-time gift, that would be perfectly acceptable via like Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, all of those ways. And all of these links are in my bio if you just want to check that out, or just type in vaginajenkins.com. And yeah, if money feels like a barrier to support, please don't let that be the case. Because if you see me on your screen in any platform, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, they all have the same ad. If you want to comment, if you want to like, if you want to share my content to your networks, that too is very welcomed support. So yeah, those are the biggest ways to support me. And yeah, you can do that by checking out vaginajenkins.com, which has all those links. And
Awesome.
I appreciate you for asking.
I hope that we can do something like this again in the not too distant future.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Please
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
We definitely share some alignment. I believe it's the Sagittarius Gemini axis of it all. Um, but
I
yeah, what about you? I see that we have this scrolling marquee down at the
yeah.
bottom. But yeah,
So
how do people support you and find you?
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Substack. I've been doing a lot more writing. I've been doing a lot of writing about the intersectionality of healing and tarot. So I'll take my personal stories and tie them into the tarot card. Um, so I'm starting in July, every Monday in July, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I am teaching a tarot for healing and integration course. So we're going to learn tarot through a healing lens. And so we're not going to be doing the fool's journey. We're not going to go over all of the major arcana. We're going to be picking and choosing some of the ones that specifically have to do with healing. And if you've never learned, don't know how to read tarot, but want to learn, if you want to deepen your connection to tarot, um, Mondays, and it is $150. However, I don't want it to be cost prohibitive, so I am offering payment plans for people. I do online Reiki, online tarot. You can support me as Substack, one-time donations. I'm really working hard at I get stuck inside my house sometimes with the introvert side of, doing what I can to help my community. So 10% of any Substack, um, like Show Me Some Loves, are being set aside for mutual aid for my community. So,
That's what's
yeah.
up. That's what's up. I mean, as it should be. I just want to I know you just said that, but I just want to underline that as like an amazing business practice that I really want more white folks to understand is possible, that like reparations is necessary,
Yes,
and that reparations might can come from like the sharing of income, the
Mhm.
sharing of resources that maybe are not financial, and yeah, that you can thread it into your business plan. So yeah, thank you for doing that work and
You're
modeling
welcome.
that.
It's
Right.
I don't feel like it's enough, but I
I
do
mean,
what I can.
it's that part.
Yeah.
And that's how you know it's enough, because it's what you can
It's what
do.
I can do. So, all right, my beautiful friends, all of you who hung out with us, I'm so grateful that you're here. We're going to do this again. Ms. Lady VJ, it is always a pleasure to see your beautiful face. Thank you so much. And friends, if you are not following them
Mm.
on all of the social medias, follow.
Yes,
Your
please.
content is superb, especially if you are, I call it the alphabet soup community. If you're a part of the alphabet soup community, the lens through which they do astrology is fantastic.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Yeah, come on
Yeah.
by. We would
So,
love to have you.
yeah. And I will see you soon. And
All
we will
right.
have to do this again soon.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, friends. I will see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay cool, stay hydrated, have something delicious.
Yes, please.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
And we're